Case number 5, Mr. Usman, 17-year-old male, presented to us with bleeding rectal for 1 year. CBC shows microcytic anemic picture, hemoglobin 10, MCV 70, platelet 350. LFTs and RFTs are normal. Hepatitis B, C, and HIV serologies are normal. Colonoscopy done 1 month ago, and there was a polypoidal growth at 10 centimeter from anal verge, and endoscopically the provisional diagnosis was single rectal ulcer syndrome, but histopathology of the ulcer showed granulomatous inflammation with occasional atypical cells. So we decided to do a colonoscopy and re-biopsy the patient.
Okay, Dr. Hassan, we have seen the case, and patient has on previous endoscopic examination, it was suspected to have solitary rectal ulcers, and on biopsy we see a few atypical cells and granulomatous inflammation. So our repeat examination, the purpose is to take detailed examination of the lesion, and at the same time we will be examining the rest of the colon for any synchronous lesion. So before starting the colonoscopy, I must address a few things. So the patient is under propofol sedation, and right now the blood pressure is roughly 84 by 39. Although he is having saturation of 99% and he is breathing comfortably. So while working in endoscopic suites, we must remember that these patients, they have a certain degree of dehydration if they are not maintaining the adequate hydration till the time before the procedure. So in many centers, they come early morning and they get their procedure in the middle of the day. And our nurses and staff and doctors should always be very vigilant about suspected hypotension in these patients. And we should ask the patient to take clear liquids at least 2 hours before the propofol sedation if we are doing it under propofol sedation. Or we can intubate the patients if there is a risk of aspiration in this kind of scenario. So proper hydration before the procedure is very important for the smooth procedure. Secondly, regarding the ergonomics, my screen is on my front side, so that I might not be having much torque of my neck, and there should not be sprain on the neck. And the distance from the screen should be at least 5 feet. And secondly, the position of my couch is at the level of my iliac bone. So these are the few steps. If we are working in endoscopy unit and we have to do number of procedures, we must take care of all these things. Otherwise, with the passage of time, we will be having our musculoskeletal issues with the passage of time. Secondly, before starting the colonoscopy for my junior colleagues, we must have a clear idea of having torque steering. So by torque steering means I don't need to use I don't need to use a small wheel during my colonoscopic examination most of the time. I bring the bigger wheel up and I move the scope clockwise and anti-clockwise. So this is the torque steering, and this is the movement which is required in most of the colonoscopy examination. We should be using ideally CO2, or we should be doing underwater examination for the ease of the patients, and especially if we are doing some interventional procedure. So here we do not have the water pump available, but we routinely use water pump for our colonoscopic examination to wash the mucosas, to wash the lesion, to give the water insufflation, to do the underwater examination. So that is the essential part of colonoscopic examination. Thirdly, if we intend to do any interventional procedure in which there is a significant risk of bleeding or perforation, ideally we should be using CO2 insufflation, and CO2 insufflation, if possible, we should be using for all the procedures. For example, if some complication, any untoward happening happens, we can always do the endoscopic management if the patient is under CO2 insufflation. So before starting the colonoscopic examination, I have checked the colonoscopic controls, air, water, and suction. The accessory channel can be used with the help of syringe on the umbilicus. So before doing the colonoscopic examination, I do the PR examination to see and feel any mass. Since the patient is under sedation, the tenderness cannot be assessed, but we can have a fairly good idea about any anal region mass and any mass in the distal rectum. So the patient is sedated, patient is comfortable. Gel इसके ऊपर लगा, लैंप ऑन करो. If we intend to do any intervention or we are looking for adenoma, ideally the scope should have distal transparent attached, cap attached, and थोड़ा सा इसको deep करें. So once we enter into the rectum, I give minimal insufflation. So the principle is to do minimal insufflation. So this scope has artificial intelligence system available, and we can see there are many boxes on the screen, and these boxes are basically indicating that there is some lesion, and if for example some endoscopy misses the lesion, with the help of this AI, we can have some degree of vigilance that we might not be missing something. So we will be completing our colonoscopic examination, and on our return we will be examining this area in detail, and we will take the relevant biopsies. So once we enter into the rectum, we see the wells of Houston, and so this is one valve of Houston, second one, and the third one. The second principle is the major movement in colonoscopy is bigger wheel up to bring the tip up. And if we see the lumen of colon, we should bring the area of interest in the upper half of the screen, and we should be using the bigger wheel. So I gently advance the scope. Do not do the over insufflation, otherwise the bends will become sharp and the colonoscopic examination will become difficult. And once in my routine, I enter into the sigmoid colon, I cross the rectosigmoid junction. I do a lot of water insufflation to make the sigmoid loop heavier in order to avoid any sigmoid looping. थोड़ा सा इसको डीप करें डॉक्टर साहब, पेशेंट को थोड़ा डीप. So we are having some trouble in anesthesia management of the patient. Patient is not in deep sedation. So we can see sigmoid colon. So I'm doing the torque steering. I am using my bigger knob, and with the clockwise and anti-clockwise movement, I am gradually negotiating these sigmoid loops. And once I don't see a progressive movement forward, I bring the scope back, I straighten the loop, and then I try to progress. So this is very important that we should not be moving with the loop because it will have a lot of discomfort to the patient. We can have the splenic rupture or any rupture anywhere in the colon. Scope should be straight, scope should be smooth, and if we find any difficulty, we can always make the loop heavier. We can change the patient position, and we can ask our assistant to give the pressure in the lower abdomen, especially once we are in the sigmoid colon. So far my scope is straight. I am having one-to-one movement. If I lost this one-to-one movement and I'm having my knob stiffer, it means that I am making a loop. I should slightly come back, make the scope straight, and then I retry to move forward. So in colonoscopic examination, one should not be in hurry. We should be very calm, comfortable. Otherwise, this examination can be at times very problematic, and we might not be having the progression of scope. This scope has function of variable stiffness available. And remember that variable stiffness function should not be used unless the tip of the scope is inside the transverse colon, number one. And there are 3 marks on the variable stiffness, 1, 2, and 3. And for the safety of the patient, we should not be going beyond the mark 1. So we can see triangular folds of transverse colon. थोड़ी सी जेल लगाएं.
When is variable stiffness more beneficial?
So if we have repeated formation of loop inside the sigmoid colon, and we are in the transverse colon and we are not able to progress the scope, we can use the variable stiffness provided our scope is straight, number one. And if we use the variable stiffness, if we use the variable stiffness, we should be very vigilant that we might not be perforate the sigmoid colon at the same time. So this is a function which has to be used very carefully by the experts, and especially not for the trainees.
Is it something which is alternate for sigmoid pressure?
Yes, this can be used. In my routine practice, I usually use sigmoid pressure by my assistant, and if that does not work and there is a redundant fold of sigmoid colon, which I find difficult to negotiate, then obviously I can use variable stiffness as my second modality to cross the sigmoid colon. But remember, we should be careful while using it. So far, our scope is straight. I'm pulling the scope back.
How do you enter the ascending colon?
Okay. So you see, colonoscopic examination is under VN. We should be seeing where the lumen of the colon is basically going away from the tip of the scope. We should do the examination under VN. There is no hard and fast rule that either we rotate it clockwise, anti-clockwise. So my whole examination is usually under VN. I don't need to do any particular kind of maneuver. So we have reached to the cecum. We can see the appendicular opening. And once we have seen the appendicular opening, our next task is to intubate the terminal ileum. So what I do that once I have seen it, I pull the scope back, and we can appreciate my scope is at 65 centimeter. It means that my scope is fairly straight. I can feel it from the controls that these are freely moving, and there is hardly any stiffness in it. So while intubating terminal ileum, we should make our scope straight. Wheels should be easy, and once we have seen this appendicular opening, and we can see that it indicating that our ileocecal valve is at in the upper half of screen, that is roughly at 12 o'clock position. So I come back, see the bulge of ileocecal valve, and we can appreciate that bulge is roughly at 1 o'clock position. Then I move forward, bring the bigger wheel up, target the 1 o'clock position, and give the little insufflation, and there I can enter into terminal ileum. So colonoscopic examination should be very gentle examination, slow examination. And remember, if we go slow, we can finish our examination earlier. And if we are in hurry to complete the examination, many of the times this examination becomes very difficult and challenging. Wash करें जरा थोड़ा सा ileum को. So to have the clear mucosal views, we need to wash the mucosa. And for that, we should have the water insufflation pump available. For every colonoscopic examination, there is no concept of colonoscopic examination without water insufflation pump. And underwater, we can see the free floating villi. And we do not see any lesion, ulcer, nodularity. Wash karo. This nodularity is Peyer's patches nodularity, and that is normal. We don't need to take the biopsy from here. If we are not suspecting any disease here, this should not be a routine practice to take biopsy. There is no benefit of taking biopsy. This will waste our resources and patient money as well. Wait. So we have examined the terminal ileum. Now I'm pulling the scope back. So while I'm pulling the scope back, I will like to examine the ileocecal valve. If we have the facility of distal attachment cap, ileocecal valve examination becomes very easier. So we can see, this is the ileocecal valve. We can see underwater. Wash karo. So for the purpose of training, I would like to say that if we accidentally suck the mucosa, there are two ways to disengage the mucosa. Either we remove this biopsy cap and give a little bit air and it will go away. Or we can use suction button. We remove the suction button and replug it. So by these two measures, we can disengage this sucked mucosa inside the suction channel. And while we are doing the suction, we should be using half suction many of the time. If we repeatedly do the full suction, and this will repeatedly keep on sucking the mucosa and will prolong our procedure time. So try to make the habit of using half suction, and whatsoever we want to suck into the scope, we should bring it in the lower half, especially at the 5 o'clock position, because suction channel is at 5 o'clock position in colonoscopy. So we can see healthy mucosa over here, although some food residues, stool residues are there. We should be washing all these areas. But in the interest of time, since they have already done the colonoscopic examination, I will slowly withdraw the scope. And while withdrawing the scope, if we are doing the examination for adenoma detection, we should not forget about looking behind these folds. So better to have distal attachment cap. We engage this mucosa, we move the scope all around in 360 degrees, and we can examine behind the folds so that we might not be missing any flat lesion. Similarly, if we have the facility of pediatric colonoscope, we can, once we have done this antegrade examination, we should be going back to the cecal valve, and we can do the retroflexion and see this retroflex view. So in this view, we can see the ileocecal valve from the behind, and we might not be missing the any flat lesion. But with the adult scope, we should not be doing it, and especially if you are a beginner and you should be doing it or practicing it with the help of some guidance. We should not be doing it independently. So we should be washing all these areas. So once we have examined this ascending colon, we should again reinsert the scope, and we should suck the air so that after the procedure, patient might not be having discomfort after the procedure because of air entrapment. बस रुक जाओ एक second. So again, we have to insufflate the lumen to have the proper visualization of each and every fold. So this is again a basic principle to have proper insufflation. We should be doing 360-degree examination. Like in this patient, we can move our scope all around behind these folds, especially if we have the facility of distal attachment cap. Withdrawal time should be at least 6 minutes. But basically, we should be looking all around these folds. We should not be missing any flat lesions. And once we have examined a particular segment, we should go back and remove the air. Then we should further withdraw the scope. ये क्या है, पंप है? अभी आया? अच्छा, चलो. So we can see the vascular pattern, the shiny mucosa. That is the normal healthy mucosa. And we should be using the Boston ball preparation score. For the trainees, we should be using certain parameters while reporting the colonoscopy. The extent of examination, कहाँ तक आपने उसको examine किया, the ball preparation score, any abnormal lesion, adenoma, or ulceration, or anything else. So we should be describing all these lesions according to the standard criteria. We should be writing down the withdrawal time. And if we find any lesion, what is the size of the lesion, what is the nature of the lesion, and if we find any polyp, so we should be describing the polyp according to the Paris classification, and either we can combine the Paris classification with Kudos classification or NICE classification. So each polyp should be at least described in 2 different classifications.
What should be good yes for bowel?
Okay, so Boston bowel preparation score, the maximum score is 9, and we divide the colon into right colon, left colon, and transverse colon. And the good score is 3, and the worst score is 0. So we label each segment of the colon individually. In this patient, the left-sided colon was relatively clean, but the right-sided colon does have some residues, and we can wash with the help of this water jet. And now they have brought the water pump. We can use the water.
Image is frozen.
Image frozen. इधर तो ठीक है. दोबारा देखें. Can you see the image now? पानी देना यार. किधर है? Can you see the image now? Okay.
We have got the.
Okay, so we are using the water insufflation and we are doing the underwater examination. Underwater examination has certain advantages. It amplifies the view and we can have roughly 1.34 times magnification of image. There is no reflection of light and the mucosa basically prolapses into the lumen, and if we have to do polypectomy, for example, in this patient, we can do it even without doing the submucosal injection, and we can capture the larger lesions as well.
See, this type of polyp.
Yes, we can see a sessile type of polypoidal lesion. This might be some adenoma, or this might be polypoidal variety of SRUS. So I think we should be removing one of the lesions and for histological examination and confirm what is the morphology of the lesion.
Can it be a lateral spreading tumor?
Yes, it can be lateral spreading lesion. So do we have the colonoscopy, sorry, polypectomy? कॉटरी है. अच्छा, स्नेयर कौन सा है हमारे पास? बस ठीक है, ठीक है, आ जाओ, छोड़ो. स्नेयर लो 1.5 का, इसको इंजेक्ट करते हैं. मैथ्रिन ब्लू वगैरह है कोई हमारे पास? क्लिप है. कॉटरी कौन सी है? हाँ, अरबे 2. अच्छा, इसको अब ज़रा डीप रखना है डॉक्टर साहब, इसको ज़रा डीप रखना है. So before doing polypectomy, we should bring the lesion at 6 o'clock position.
Histopathology report released that there are some 80 cells. Would you like to cut it M block or
So if there is adequate lifting, I will be cutting it this lesion at least and block.
can you show MBA?
NBA ऑन करो भाई, इसके अंदर थोड़ा सा स्ट्रेट करो जी इसको, पेशेंट लगाओ जी NBA.
5.
ये कंपनी वाले किधर है, उनको पूछो ना.
Can you show the fit pattern?
NBA is not functioning and we are looking for some technical support from the company.
I think engineers are there.
किधर गया कंपनी? इसका NBA ऑन करें जरा.
Adil,
यार फाइस है, मुझे फाइस की कोई डिवीजन नहीं पता जी कैसे किसको करते हैं, मगर ये है कि सिंस वी आर यूजिंग ओलंपस एंड वी आर वेरी मच फेमिलियर विद द नाइस क्लासिफिकेशन एंड पिट पैटर्न, बट इन दिस.
has frozen again.
अच्छा, आप देखें इमेज ठीक है, इधर तो सही है.
Now it's
एक और लड़का है ना, जरा स्कोप को होल्ड करना. क्लिप स्लिप रेडी है, इंजेक्टर है और सोल्यूशन बनाया मैथ्रिन ब्लू. बहुत डार्क ना बना देना, दिखा दो एक मिनट. हाँ, डाइल्यूट करो, 2-3 सिरिंजें बनाओ. और क्लिप्स कौन से पड़े? क्लिप्स और डाइल्यूट करो, बहुत डार्क, इसको इसकी 2-3 सिरिंजें बनाओ।
What solution are you using to give this solid?
Okay, so we are using methylene blue and saline solution. Yeah, methylene blue थोड़ा डालो, methylene blue थोड़ा करो, और थोड़ा, और थोड़ा,
Adrenaline in
और
this
थोड़ा,
as
और
well?
थोड़ा. No, we usually do not, और थोड़ा, और थोड़ा. We usually do not use adrenaline because at times adrenaline gives us the false sense of security that patient is not bleeding, and patient can later on have bleed. So it's better not to use adrenaline. इसको ना और डाइल्यूट करो, ये तुम इतना ज्यादा डाल लेते हो, उसका फायदा ही कोई नहीं। हाँ ये ठीक है, बाकी उसको भी कम करो, उसकी भी 2 सिरिंजेस बनाओ।
Dr. Yas, is this the only lesion or is there some other lesion as well?
So these are the 2 lesions we have found in our colonoscopic examination. I could not find. Yes, we are in the rectum, and the scope is at 5 centimeter roughly from anal verge. Well, we can see the retroflexion. चलो भाई, स्कोप पे हाथ रखो एक बंदा। एसी नहीं चलता है इधर यार, ये थोड़ा सा कोई बंद वाला मिलेगा, ये तो बिल्कुल ही खुला होगा।
I think there is what's that
So we will try to remove both of these lesions.
there is another component at 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock position as well.
ऊपर की बात कर रहे हैं ये
It looks similar to the
ये वाला, हाँ. So my opinion is that in this scenario I will be finding more changes of SRUS. It doesn't look like malignant lesion, but since biopsy report is not conclusive, we will take this whole lesion out and see what the histopathology says. जी हाँ. So I will be injecting from oral side. Scope पे हाथ रखो, scope पे हाथ, needle out. Inject, 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 inject. करते जाओ, करते जाओ, करते जाओ, करते जाओ. Okay, so we should be start injecting from the oral side so that we bring the lesion more toward our scope. Roko, need a back.
Distal to the forehead.
No, distal means anal side, proximal means oral side. So we inject from the oral side, start injecting from the oral side. Scope पे हाथ रखो. Needle out. Inject, inject, keep injecting, inject, 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 करते जाओ, inject, inject, inject. इसको जरा डीप रखना डॉक्टर साहब. इंजेक्ट, 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 इंजेक्ट. ठीक, नीड अ बैक. नीडल आउट. Inject, 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 keep injecting. So we can see that there is adequate lifting of the mucosa. Inject, inject, inject. चलो बस, रोक दो, रोक दो. चलो स्नेयर दो मुझे को 1.5 सेंटीमीटर वाला. और कॉटरी की सेटिंग क्या है? क्लिप शेप रेडी रखना, क्योंकि इसमें बाद में पेशेंट ब्लीड करता है. स्कोप पे हाथ. बेटा स्कोप से तेरा दूजा हाथ किथे? हाँ. स्नेर ओपन, स्नेर ओपन. ठीक है, स्नेयर पे 1 मिनट, स्नेयर इधर लेके आओ, टिप टिप तक लेके आओ, स्नेयर टिप तक लेके आओ, टिप तक लेके आओ, टिप तक लेके आओ। ओके, मार्क करो इधर स्नेयर को, इधर मार्क करो, मार्कर से। वो स्नेयर छुड़ाओ उधर से, होश जाओ।
Marking the snare.
Yes, there is a distance between distal end of the sheath and the distal end of the snare once it is closed. So we should bring the distal end of the snare to the distal end of snare and mark that point, so that once we start closing, we should have clear idea that we are not capturing any normal mucosa of the colon. Open, 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 open. Keep opening. Open, 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 open. रोटेट करो इसको, चल बस ठीक ठीक ठीक, वेट 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 वेट, ऐसा ऐसा क्लोज करो, ऐसा ऐसा क्लोज, ऐसा ऐसा क्लोज, ऐसा ऐसा क्लोज, ऐसा ऐसा क्लोज, ऐसा ऐसा क्लोज. So we can see that our lumen and the lesion is moving freely, and we have not probably captured any distal normal mucosa. So we start cutting over here. Are you happy with the position of snare, or we should readjust? नहीं, cutting जो है 120 पे, coagulation जो है ना 50 पे.
What are you using?
So we will be using endocut. एंडोकट क्यू भी है इसमें. अच्छा, so since we are cutting inside the rectum and the rectum is a very thin wall, distal rectum is not inside the peritoneum, we are not very much worried about the perforation. 120 पे ले जाओ कटिंग को, हाँ इसको कटिंग कटिंग 120 effect 3
120 endocut mode.
endocut mode. So these are the old cauteries. उसको बस ठीक है 50 पे ठीक, एंडोकट 3 पे ठीक है ठीक है ठीक है ठीक, गुड. किधर है? We are using cautery and we should have the steady foot on the cautery and wait till it cuts. So this cautery is using too much coagulation. Yes, we can change. यार इसको ना प्योर कटिंग पे जा सकती है ऐसा नहीं है, मैंने नहीं कभी. एंडोकट ऑफ करके कटिंग पे चली जाएगी. हाँ
Cutting technique 13 mode.
ओके. आई डोंट नो व्हाट काइंड ऑफ कटिंग इज दिस. So you can appreciate that there is a lot of collateral charring. This is what we do not want in our endoscopic procedure. I think we should have the advanced cautery available in our unit, and so that if we tend to cut some lesion, we should not be having such kind of collateral damage. So I will not be cutting the second lesion. I will just be observing. I will be waiting for the histopathology of this lesion, since the cautery results are not very good. So secondly, I think we do not need to close the lesion. There is no visible vessel. Everything has been burned. इसके साथ इसको जरा स्कोप के हाथ रखो. We can use the same snare to capture the lesion. थोड़ा सा open करो. So our specimen has also significant charring, and histopathologists will be having a lot of difficulty in reporting this as well. Close. So we can see a similar lesion at in the distal rectum closer to the dentate line as well. I think this is more, these multiple lesions, they are more in the favor of polypoidal variety of SRUS. Anyway, we will wait for this histopathology report to come and then we decide further about the treatment. Yes, polypoidal variety of SRUS is quite common, and the lesion is usually in the distal rectum. We can appreciate a certain degree of hyperemia, mucosal ulceration in the surrounding mucosa as well. Patient usually has a long-standing history of tenesmus and mucus and blood per rectum. Anyway, we should be taking the biopsies, and usually the biopsy is sufficient to diagnose, and we really need to remove the lesion for histopathological diagnosis.
What is the risk of delayed bleeding or some bleed to the muscle as well? I feel
Yes.
there is some degree of
Exactly. So the chances of delayed bleeding are there, and they can bleeding can happen usually during the following week, roughly, and the most bleeding episode they can occur on the day 2 and 3. So before discharging these patients, we should tell the patient about potential risk of bleeding. Number 1. Number 2, patient might be having post polypectomy syndrome, in which the patient might complain of left flank lower abdominal pain and some fever. So in that particular scenario, we need to give antibiotic to the patient, because as we can appreciate over here that we have done some collateral charring of muscularis, and this charring, I'm sure, might have gone to the level of cirrhosis as well. So these are the 2 complications I expect in this patient, but we do not need to prophylactically close this lesion, because the studies show that applying the clips prophylactically does not prevent the delayed bleeding. They can prevent the immediate bleeding, but they cannot prevent the late onset bleeding, delayed bleeding. For larger lesions in the right colon, we prophylactically coagulate all the vessels if we do the EMR and close the defect with the help of hemostatic clips or suturing devices. Since the bleeding on the right side can be very problematic for the patient management at times.
Thanks, Dr. Gaya. We are shifting.
Thank you very much.
Case number 6. 47-year-old female presented with chief complaint of progressive dysphagia for 6 months and also associated weight loss approximately 10 kg in this 6-month period. Thyroid nodule with negative Pemberton sign from 1 year, hepatitis B, C, HIV are negative. CBC shows a microcytic anemic picture, hemoglobin 8.6, MCV 63, AST 46 and serum creatinine 0.8 matlab normal. TFTs are normal. Ultrasonography neck shows lifts soft thyroid nodule. Our plan is to do diagnostic upper endoscopy to rule out cause of dysphagia, whether it is Webb's or CA.
Dr. Azhar, we can see you.
Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. Dr. Hassan, we are going to start diagnostic upper GI endoscopy. Problem is with dysphagia. By the ST, I can't localize whether it's kind of upper dysphagia or lower. By endoscopy, we will see what's going on inside. I am going to start. So, patient needs a bit more sedation. Should I start? Ji. So light.
It's too bright.
Yes, yes. So manual should be automatic. Yes, now it's auto. So light. Yes, it's more bright. Light कम करिए brother. कम करें light कम. Okay, okay. So we are going. Sorry.
ब्राइटनेस कम कर दें
Yes.
लाइट की.
There is a tight probably stricture at the upper end of the esophagus, just below the upper esophageal sphincter.
So it is a web.
It's kind of web, yes. It's a web.
So will you dilate this?
Yes, it can be dilated because most commonly it could be underlying Plummer-Wilson syndrome
Yes.
due to iron deficiency, anemia.
So will you use Savory dilator or a CRE balloon to dilate this?
So commonly we can dilate this with a Sevely-Gallard even.
Okay, we have Savory dilator available.
Yes,
I think you can
Do we have
proceed with
Savory-Gallard?
dilatation.
Dr. Hamad. CRE balloon. Yes, yes. Yes, give me CRE balloon, please. Yes. Yes, please. अच्छा जरा स्कोप होल्ड करनी पड़ेगी.
So this is most likely a case of Plummer-Vinson syndrome.
Most likely. Yes, yes. Yes, yes, 8, 9, 10. Yes, 8, 9, 10.
So these types of webs can sometimes be broken with pressure with the scope as well.
Yes, it can be, but there is a risk of tear as well because there is a small opening. Sometimes we can use pediatric scope as well from here because pediatric scope has diameter of 5.5 or 6 millimeter. But in this case, it will be yes, bit difficult, and the risk of tear is always there. So it's better to dilate rather to create a tear just at the upper end. Look at this one. So keep holding the scope, please. Keep it over here. Yes, please. Show me. Keep it over here. इसकी ब्राइटनेस बहुत ज्यादा है स्कोप की, है ना? इसको it's a minimum brightness. Please hold the scope, please, over here. Over here, please. G, please. Inflate. Just keep over here. Just over, just one. Sedation, please. Yes, yes, yes. Just a minute. deflate कीजिए, deflate करिए. Just a minute. Actually, it's very proximal. Yes. Okay, hold the scope, please. Please inflate. G, please. 8. First 8. Gradually you can increase up to 9. In routine we keep the balloon inflated for 30 seconds to 1 minute. Yes. You can inflate up to 10. Yes. Yes. Please. Seems to be.
We can see through the balloon. We are breaking up the. Thank you. Sorry, carry on. Thank you.
Everybody heard me. So, Dr. Azhar has handed over that talking section to me. So if you see through the balloon right now, you can see the disruption of, with the controlled expansion, controlled radial expansion of this balloon. You can see the disrupting fibers there when you see through the balloon. In an ideal world, you want to do all the dilatations with fluoro control, and in even more ideal world, you would want to inflate the balloon with some contrast in and see the wasting disappearing halfway through of your balloon, and that gives you reassurance that you have actually done the therapy. Without a contrast enhanced image, you're just basically guessing that you've done the therapy. And then safety wise, I think it gets much safer if you
Dr.
just-
Hamad,
Yes.
you're not clearly audible.
Can you hear me now?
Yes,
Is that better?
not better. It's not
No?
better.
Okay.
You should bring the mic a bit closer.
Any better?
Yes, now
Okay,
it's
so
better.
what we were talking about is that you can see through an inflated balloon that the fibers are disrupting, fibers of this web. But what I was trying to make a point is that in an ideal world, if you have a choice, and sometimes you do, then you should do these procedures with fluoro control available to you. And you should inflate a CRE balloon with contrast in. And then you can see the wasting disappearing, So as you can see, Dr. Azhar has beautifully, demonstrated. So, thinking about these therapeutic procedures, if I want to make a comment, so at between 3 and 5 o'clock is the area where you can see, let's say a weakened part of this circle. And if you were to perforate, if you were to go above this, then, this is the area where it would perforate. So, looking ahead, if you want to go, when you're going to do it next time, let's say in about 4 weeks or so, you should keep that in mind that this is the area which was the weakest part. I think we should complete the endoscopy. She's also anemic, and although we are thinking about the syndrome, we should not get into the phenomena of finding one pathology and finding that we are done. There can always be a second pathology. We should always complete the procedure.
Would you also like to take duodenal biopsies in this patient?
So yes and no. It depends on how the economics work. So if the patient has to pay or somebody has to pay for the histology, which is an expensive game, it takes a lot of consultant time, etc., etc. So if this if the serology is negative, there's not much point.
We can see villi which are nice and fine.
But if we have got relatively unlimited resources, then of course this is the opportunity to take some biopsy. But at least we should do the a complete procedure and try and find an additional cause of anemia for her. Okay, so Dr. Azhar has decided to take some biopsy from the duodenum as well. So earlier on, we were discussing about why it is important to take biopsy from the first part of duodenum or bulb as well when we are considering celiac disease. So did we come to any conclusion about that? An answer to that? Why do we do that? Hello?
It can be the first presentation of CBA. Because the disease sometimes starts from the duodenal bulb and then it's
And
suppressed
disease
to
can be
involve-
patchy. So you can enhance your diagnostic yield of biopsies up to 25% more actually if you do take biopsy from the D1 in all those with iron deficiency anemia, whether the serology was positive or no. So it is important. And there's a person called Peter Mooney, if I'm not, and somebody called, I think, Brian or David Anderson from Sheffield, both of them. They've done a lot of work on this, especially the D1 biopsy. Peter Mooney is the name.
Here we can see in this case, we can see there are nice villi and there is no scalloping of the duodenal folds. So based on endoscopy findings.
So the consensus from most experts, if you hear them, is that you are very good at interpreting the endoscopic appearance of the villi if you know the celiac screen results. If you do not know, then usually it's it's not correct. I mean, unless the disease is very advanced, so you can see everything flat. I think we should just let the histopathologists speak about.
So I think this case will be complete after taking biopsies.
Yeah.
So can we move to next station?
Sure. Do I go there? Okay. Let me just take it.
So meanwhile, we are presenting the next case.
I'm here in the next room. Assalamu alaikum. क्या हाल है? क्या नाम है आपका? अवैस, मेरा नाम हमाद है। मैं आपका डॉक्टर हूँ आज। ठीक है? आज आपका मुआयना करना है हमने अंदर से, आपको बिल्कुल पता नहीं चलेगा, ओके? डॉक्टर साहब आपको सुला देंगे, ओके? Alright.
Case number 9, 14-year-old male presented with blood mixed with stool from 2 years. Strong family history of colon C and paternal uncle, father and cousin. Labs are show microcytic anemic picture and PTA, PTINR, RFTs are normal. Upper GI endoscopy shows small diminutive polyp in hypopharynx and multiple polyps in duodenum. Colonoscopy shows multiple polyps in rectosigmoid, ascending colon and cecum. Histopathology shows juvenile retention polyp. Our plan is to do polypectomy.
एक gloves का एक single glove मिलेगा कोई please? Thank you. So there is a lot of people in the room, and I'm sorry I cannot introduce everybody. But I know Dr. Abu Bakr here and Sister Razia. The people who are directly involved in Dr. Sabah, can I ask your name, please? Excellent. आपका क्या नाम है? Dr. Ahmed, thank you. So I think we have Fuji system for this one. Is that correct? Okay. Right. Excellent. The new Fuji scopes, I don't know, they haven't handed the scope over to me, but they are really good. They have this adaptive mechanism and the scope adapts itself to the contours of the colon. And once you get the hang of it, if not, if you have once you get used to it, it actually becomes much more enjoyable as compared to the 290 Olympus.
So, Dr. Hamad, you have heard the history.
Yes. So this is a young guy, 14 years old, with a polyp which is, we've seen some polyps in the upper GI tract, and he has a strong family history of colorectal cancer.
Histopathology reveals that it was a retention polyp.
Sorry. Please say it again, Dr. Ahsan.
Histopathology report saying that it was a juvenile retention polyp.
Okay, so I'm not sure if he has a single polyp. So
There are
are we
multiple
talking
polyps.
about this colonic polyp or a polyp from the upper GI tract? The
Colonic
histopath-
polyp.
So he has already had a colonoscopy.
Yeah.
And do we know the size of this polyp and where it is?
There are multiple polyps of variable sizes throughout the colon.
So he basically has the polyposis syndrome, especially in the context of the history then.
Yeah.
Okay, so obviously today we will have to, if we were to remove, then we were to remove the ones which are larger. And
Or if there is a strong family history of like colorectal cancer in this patient,
yeah,
then we should directly proceed towards colectomy.
a prophylactic colectomy, that's a very tough question, and probably I'm not the best person to answer that question. Usually it's a geneticist talking about in an MDT who would, because removing an organ without a definitive disease is, it has its own implications. And if we were to do it, then either we can do a subtotal colectomy or a pan-proctocolectomy. If we were to do a subtotal, then we will still have to do a rectal stump examination every so often. Thank you. Okay, so I'm used to totally opposite, arrangement. Usually the stack is behind me, and today it's just in front of me. But I'll try and manage. Okay, so important things. I thought this was the basic endoscopy workshop. It looks like it has turned into an advanced one. Air nahi aa rahi ji, air ko please. है ना? Okay. Thank you. तो मैं कैसे check करूँगा कि air को I can see. तो क्या CO2 है हमारे पास या नहीं? Okay.
Not on this station.
Okay. Right. So I'll do a inspection, an inspection of the turn hai, light hai kya? Of the perianal area in the first instance. We have missed a lot of anorectal pathologies, particularly cancers, without, because we don't really do a good PR or digital rectal examination. Mm-hmm. Right. So we are in rectum now, and I'm inflating, I'm insufflating a lot of air, and I don't like the look of this thing or these things that I'm seeing. I think we have the help of artificial intelligence today. These squares that you can see on the screen, if you can, are probably trying to identify if there are any polyps nearby. So I'm coming back, trying to identify the dentate line. I'm, ever so grateful. I think this is the dentate line, if you see here. And as we go in, so only about 2 centimeters away or 3, we start seeing these carpet of lesions of various sizes. we will be here all day, or maybe tomorrow as well if we were to remove them. And then we don't know if,
People are saying we are leaving then.
yeah. So for example, this one, if I identify this lesion, we can see this is a Paris 1S, stalked polyp, and this is easily endoscopically doable. Mind you, rectosigmoid is a very vascular area. So this also seems to be on a stalk, this one. This is the stalk. Washing का mechanism क्या है? जी? Okay, I'll need to assess this from the other side. All right. So, do we know if there are any lesions further up in the colon? Do we need to complete okay. Gosh.
Yes, there are multiple lesions
There's
about.
loads and loads of polyps as we know, and we do not know which one of these is harboring malignancy. And coming back to your point, whether he should have a colectomy, that is something that's a very genuine consideration. He's a young guy, and we will have to, unfortunately, the bowel preparation here is not very good. He's a minor, and we really need to think a lot whether we should remove an organ with an, trying to save his life and put him through a major surgery, or no. Do I need to complete the colon, or should we just focus on, because he's already had a colonoscopy, or should we just focus on assessment of the lesions that we know
I
of?
think that you should complete.
Okay, so,
complete
so
colonoscopy.
probably I'm at the sigmoid descending junction. Trying to stay in the
Currently,
lumen. Go on.
This patient is admitted in surgical department, and they are planning a colectomy on this patient.
Okay, so a decision.
We are his last hope. If he wants to avoid colectomy, it's only we who can alter this plan.
Well, we will have to do a really long assessment for that. And again, nothing is foolproof. But looking at those lesions, other than the number of lesions, I did not see any malignant features there. So in a few sessions, if we can remove as many as possible, and we take responsibility that we can continue to survey his colon every year at least, I think, and then remove any new, new growths as and when they come, maybe we can save his colon, because living a life without colon is also not. You okay? That inko painkiller mil sakta hai, Dr. Saab, please? Thank you, Dr. Ahmed. The reason it is painful for him is probably a loop in the sigmoid, which is recurrent, and I do not want to change his position to supine, although I love to do that in relatively awake patients. He's more comfortable now. So we were talking about sedation and endoscopy earlier on, and I think a full GA, particularly for a colonoscopy, is actually much more riskier business than doing it in a lightly or just sedated patients and not fully relaxed, because you get the feedback if you were about to perforate. You do not perforate with the end of the scope. You perforate with something with the shaft, which is looping usually. Probably your splenic flexure, if I'm not wrong. And I'll try and go with just pushing because he's well sedated, and see if we can then reduce the loops again later on. Okay. So in case, there are lesions here and there, but the smaller lesions can be left behind, and we can focus on the larger ones to give him the maximum benefit. So we'll do a better assessment at the end. of the procedure, or if we see any other larger lesions on the way back from the cecum. So I'm around a corner. I do not know. I would like to think this is hepatic flexure, but I can't be. I think it might even be splenic because I can see perhaps transverse in front of me with the triangular folds. Okay. Right. So unfortunately, with this bowel preparation, we cannot really be certain about the lesions anyway. Acha, can I press on something? Okay, but still, you know, मैं अगर इसमें इस bowel preparation में water pump use करूँगा तो I'll block the scope. देख लें आपकी scope को. Right, I can try and wash, but you know there are solid bits in there. I think we probably would be in cecum now, if I'm not wrong. This is the appendiceal orifice in front of me, where I try to wash first. Right. So, on what basis did the surgeons decide to do a colectomy, and what type of colectomy are they planning? Do we know?
They are planning a pan-colectomy.
And proctocolectomy, you know, because of the family history, and they would have actually consented them for that procedure then.
Yes, I think they have consented.
Okay. Because the thing is that we may be able to save him from having a colectomy today, but it might, you know, come to that in coming years. But as long as, you know, he has access to colonoscopic surveillance in future, then maybe we could try and preserve an organ for him. So I think if you were to wash the whole colon, particularly all of the right colon today, in the interest of time, I think we won't be able to do a good lesion assessment, at least the ones that we know of. From the previous colonoscopy, do we know if there are any larger lesions, you know, in the right colon, or no?
So, Dr. Hamad, do you want to take out any of these polyps?
Depends on which polyps are we talking about. At the moment, I do not see any polyps. What I'm trying to say is that if I am to wash this colon today, then it will take a long time. Do we have enough time?
I think that we are short of time.
Yeah. So in the interest of time,
You can
what I would,
continue with this case and we
what
can
I
shift to
would
other
do-
station.
please say it again.
You can continue with this case and we can shift to other station.
That's one method. Sure. We'll, you know, wash, and if there is something of interest, then you can come back to this room and we can demonstrate, you know.
Okay, then you should continue with the case. We are shifting to other station.
That's nice. That's good.
Thank you.
So,
Case number 8, 35-year-old male, presented with chief complaint of dysphagia for solids in liquids. Barium swallow shows dilatation of distal esophagus with smooth tapering giving bird beak appearance. Manometry shows type 2 achalasia cardia. Baseline labs are normal. Our plan is to do pneumatic balloon dilatation.
गूगल पे जाएं। वो सारा HRM रीडिंग्स है किधर है? नहीं रिपोर्ट नहीं है कोई यूएसबी कोपेरियम है। हम्म, हम्म, और एंडोस्कोपी एंडोस्कोपी यहीं पे ही है, यहाँ पे पहले नहीं हुई, फर्स्ट टाइम है। ठीक। ठीक है, अगर होगा तो बेहतर है। इधर आना ना।
Yes, Dr. Ibtisam, you are live now.
ठीक है
We can't hear you.
स्टार्ट करो। Dr. Hassan, we can hear you very
Yeah.
well, and I think we have gone through the case. It's a patient of 35-year-old male with dysphagia to the solid and liquids, and the barium swallow has been done with dilated esophagus with distal tapering, giving the bird beak appearance of esophagus. So manometry shows we don't have the readings. What I'll be more interested in, what is the length of the esophagus, EGJ, and diaphragmatic centimeter for this. We don't have any previous endoscopic report as well.
Previous endoscopy has been done. EGJ is at 40 centimeters.
So now we have a lot of options for the patients with eclasia. Pneumatic dilatation is one of them, and I believe Dr. Gyas is still there, and he'll be more
He has
interested
left.
in going for POEM procedure. So till Dr. Ibtisam do the upper GI endoscopy, Dr. Gyas, would you like to make a comment on the outcomes of the patients with eclasia and different types of the treatment options? नहीं?
Dr. Gyas is not here,
Acha.
but I can tell you from my experience that we have recently published a 50 patient case series on eclasia cardia, and the follow-up results, they are very good. They are more than 95%.
So this is a very common problem. We see a patient with eclasia or distal esophagus obstruction due to any of the causes. We see a lot of fluid and food particles that were present while intubating the esophagus. Oral section जरा अच्छी कर दो. इधर कौन है? Sedation. There's a problem with the sedation as yeah. Okay. ऊपर आके suction जरा अच्छी से कर लो. Pressures कितने? Probe. ये टाई कर देना पीछे से.
So we can see that the esophagus is dilated.
So
and
we can
there is-
appreciate that esophagus is dilated, and we don't see any propagating peristalsis
Yeah.
that is progressing to the distal esophagus. And we are at the EJJ, and it is quite tight. And I believe Dr. Ibtisam has to maneuver it around the esophagus, and there was some resistance passing across the EG junction.
जरा कंफर्टेबल करते तो पेशेंट को
So I think
ऊपर
we
आके
can
जरा, अच्छा
proceed
sir.
directly with
oral
dilatation. We
section
have
जरा
already
अच्छी
done the
करता।
endoscopy.
probe probe पीछे probe लगा दें जरा, ठीक है, पोजीशन जरा प्रॉपर करते हैं. So the most important thing whenever you are planning to do any kind of procedure is to complete your upper GI and examination, to look for any other cause that could be because causing the dysphagia, especially the examination of EJJ, and retroversion is also very important. So in this kind of case, we should also be using water pump to clean the esophagus. And the common problem while planning for the dilatation is to see esophageal candidiasis, which can cause a lot of bleeding while performing the pneumatic dilatation. So we need to postpone the patient for another day if we see any esophageal candidiasis. (45) ठीक है.
Hello. Am I loud and clear in the hall?
Yes, you are loud and clear.
Okay, that's fantastic. What I'm looking at now that my patient is comfortable, we were having problems with the anesthesia, but now my patient is comfortable. So the most important part when you are doing a case of eclasia cardia is that the patient should be comfortable and you should be relaxed. So the two factor anxiety factor should not be there at all. We have seen, I have done the diagnostic upper GI endoscopy, and it's an eclasia. Yes, there was no peristalsis. There was a dilated esophagus with a lot of retained fluid in it. We have cleaned it up. Now I will try to leave a wire in the stomach. We're using a standard 035 wire. Metal wires can be used as well. Can I have a fluoro picture as well?
जी इधर ऊपर भी फ्लोरो दिखाएं.
Okay. बाजू को ये आगे कर लें, पीछे कर लें, please. The important part when we're doing eclasia is to look at the diaphragm, above the diaphragm and below the diaphragm where we are standing. So I need to make sure that my imaging is correct before I put in the eclasia dilatation balloon. So we can go with 30 mm balloon, we can go with 35 mm balloon, or 40 mm balloon, all available. This is a case of type 2 eclasia. I personally believe that 35 should be a good option in this case. Okay, can I see the image? I want to see the diaphragm in it. You wanna? Bazu side pe kare, please. पीछे की तरफ लेके जाएं.
So Dr. Ibtisam, which balloon are you using in this patient?
I'm sorry, I cannot hear you properly.
Which size balloon are you using? In this
I'm
patient?
using a 35 millimeter balloon.
So do you use 35 millimeter to start with in most of your cases, or you begin with 30 mm and then proceed with the size?
Depends. I wanted to start with the 30 mm as it was not available, so I have switched to 35 mm. But 30 mm is my choice.
Okay.
मुझे भी scope नजर आनी चाहिए, please. और मेरे डायफ्राम नजर आना चाहिए। नीचे करें, नीचे ले जाएं, नीचे ले जाएं, और नीचे ले जाएं। यस, और नीचे ले जाएं। यस, ठीक है। चलें, सो okay, I'll ask my assistant to push the wire in while I slowly withdraw the scope. As I don't have an elevator, that I'll keep my wire under vision. Please hold the scope. Hold the wire. Yes. Lights कम हो सकती हैं इस कमरे में? Okay. I cannot see the wire clearly, but let's see if I can do something about that. ठीक है, ठीक है. So, in my head, I know that the lower esophageal sphincter was at 45 centimeter, although I have kept the diaphragm as my indicator as well. Patient ऊपर हो सकता है, नीचे हो सकता है. हाँ, करें, 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 करें. Okay, okay, that's it. Fantastic. Generally, in a procedure like this, we should going in with CO2 because the chance of perforation in achalasia dilatation is pretty high. They are as many as up to 3%. A bit of gel, a bit of gel. Okay. Okay, if there is any perforation, I just got a question, what is the benefit of carbon dioxide in this one? Isko andar kare. So we'll come back to that. Deep kar denge, please. Sedate, deep kar deं patient ko. Our patient is giving us a lot of trouble. Suction कर पीछे से, suction कर.
ये देखें वायर इज
The thing is, I am manipulating the wire in my own hand. What? कितना? हाँ हाँ, ठीक है. बाजू साइड पे करेंगे प्लीज.
देखो ये जो
बाजू साइड पे करेंगे प्लीज. Okay, so we are seeing the lower end of our balloon, and it is well inside the. I think this is going to be the perfect position to dilate. हाँ जी, please.
isn't your balloon below the diaphragm?
Sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Isn't your balloon below the level of diaphragm?
Yes, a bit below and a bit above.
So there are 3 marks on the balloon.
एक सेकंड, मुझे इसका एक मिनट मुझे मार्कर्स देखने दो पहले. Yes.
There are 3 marks.
Yes. So the middle 2 marks is my go-to area. Okay.
I
Can
think
you?
that it should be a yes.
Uh,
I
uh,
think that it should be pulled a little bit up. Yes, I think that
Dr. SN, I cannot hear you properly.
I think that the balloon should be pulled a bit. Yes, I think that this is now a better position.
Amazing. I think the balloon is torn.
और ये middle mark
Is it?
ये तकरीबन G junction है वो तकरीबन correspond है. So have you started inflating the balloon?
Not yet. Not yet.
I think that the balloon is moving forwards. We should pull it back a bit.
Mm-hmm.
Please pull the balloon a bit back upwards.
Deflate करो. Hmm.
ठीक है वो उसका ना ये दरमियान वाला मार्क है ना ऊपर वाला नजर नहीं आ रहा ये यानी कि आपका जी जंक्शन वो बैलून से टच होना चाहिए लेवल पे होना. हाँ ये इसके
एक सेकंड वायर अंदर ही रखें.
अब ये डायफ्राम इस पे नजर आ रहा है तो ये बस यहाँ पे रखें अब ये यहाँ पे
चलें.
बैलून इन्फ्लेट हो रहा
हाँ. नहीं. आप डायलेट कर दिया. डायलेट कर दिया आपने. चलें करें. Okay, balloon is inflated. बस सही बस. Can you deflate it now? Yes. Okay, let's take it out. Okay, I'll put it in the scope again.
So balloon has been inflated.
Yes, the balloon was inflated.
But-
I've not been able to get very good pictures in there.
Yes,
That was the problem.
we were not able to appreciate the
Yes,
waist of the balloon.
Neither I was able to appreciate whether the balloon was inflated, and I couldn't appreciate the waist of the balloon as well.
I think that the balloon has not inflated properly.
Can you check the balloon outside, please? Okay, it has given some sort of a tear.
Yes,
It has. So this is the post
yes,
dilatation.
we can clearly see blood at the G
Yes.
junction.
And the passage of the scope is much easier this time.
Okay, hope this helps the patient.
So at the end, I would like to do a bit of suction. I do not want the patient to aspirate. Observe all the walls. Look for any rent along the way. And that's about it.
करते हैं ना तो तकरीबन 6 महीने मरीज के अच्छे.
Thank you so much.
Case number 11, 75-year-old male presented with dysphagia for solid for 3 months. Associated weight loss 5 kg in this 3 months period. Hemoglobin 12.5, MCV 78 or platelet 171. Hepatitis B, C and HIV are negative. LFT, RFTs are normal. Endoscopy, upper endoscopy done from outside station shows lower esophageal growth. CT cap awaited. Our plan is to take biopsy through upper GI endoscopy, esophageal mass biopsy.
Section here. Section.
Dr. Junaid, what system are you using and what is new in this system?
This is for very first time I'm using this system. This is CV 1500 Xperia
Can
X1.
you bring your mic a bit closer?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, it's better
So
now.
I'm using this system for I guess for the first time. This is Olympus CV 1500 X1. And I believe that it has a lot of features, like it has been equipped with AI as well. So the scope is HQ190 with a biopsy channel of 2.8. Gel hai? Gel. Huh. So this is the case with dysphagia. He's 75 years old, and we are expecting a mass in the distal esophagus. That was previous endoscopy report, and we don't have the CT yet. So I've just crossed the upper esophageal sphincter. I'll come back, have a look at the esophagus, and slowly going down.
Yeah, there is
So
a mass here.
there is a circumferential mass at 24 or 25 centimeter. What I like to do is to go around the mass. Sir, position that I hold karna. Dr. Hassan, can you appreciate the mass?
Yeah, there is
Yeah.
a
So the objective
mass.
is to see the extent of the lesion, and the second thing is I would like to take some biopsies to I think endoscope zara hold karna. So here the
think
more
that this Olympus system has something new in the form of
hold.
chromoendoscopy or magnification endoscopy. If Olympus people are available, you can
Hold,
demonstrate
hold.
those modes.
So well, I managed to cross across the mass, and I am somewhere at 30 centimeter, and the distal esophagus is paired. So now I'm in the stomach, and I would like to complete the examination. There was some resistance crossing the mass, but I was able to manage. So the important point here is never to push the scope. Use your wheels and the torque of the scope to revolve around the mass, so you can see if you can manage to go beyond the obstruction. The stomach looks okay. There is some erythema, maybe So when see a circumferential lesion like this, you need to mention the proximal and the distal extent. And it started somewhere around 24 to 30 centimeter. It's a 6 centimeter long tumor, which is involving almost around the circumference. And there are some changes of reflux as well. NBI है? NBI. NBI.
10 times
NBI है?
10 times
नहीं होना चाहिए. So EGJ is at 38 and 39.
आपकी वेसल्स, आपकी ब्लड वेसल्स तक आरबीसी का फ्लो तक नजर आता है अगर इनका ये नए सिस्टम इनमें
Biopsy forceps.
एंडोस्कोपी आप करें ना यूज, तो आपको ब्लड वेसल्स के अंदर, कैपिलरीज के अंदर का आरबीसी का फ्लो तक नजर आता है.
28. देखिएगा एस्पिरेट ना करे. So Dr. Essen, what the normal practice is, from where would you like to take the biopsy from? Boston, open, close, ठीक. नहीं क्या सुराख पता नहीं है कोई? दे देना, मुश्किल होगी करना. Dr. Essen, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can
Okay,
hear you.
so from where would you like to take the biopsy from?
I would like to take biopsies from the
Close. जब तक मैं नहीं कहूँगा नहीं open
proximal
करना. Close.
margin.
Close. जब close, full close. जब तक मैं नहीं कहूँगा तब नहीं खोलना. Open. Close. नहीं आई. Open. Close. Next slow close करना है. ठीक. पोजीशन ठीक कर लें और मूव ना करें. ओपन, क्लोज. पोजीशन पेशेंट की जरा ठीक करना. हाँ, जब तक मैं नहीं कहूँगा बच्चे नहीं खोलना. क्लोज है. ओपन. स्लो क्लोज. स्लो क्लोज. close it. Okay, good. Open. Jar की तरफ open. Open. Close.
So,
Open.
Dr. Junaid, how many biopsies will you take from this patient?
Close. I'll take like 6 or 7 of the biopsies. Just scope hold करके रखें. So, depending upon the macroscopic appearance of the biopsy, like if I get a good chunk of white matter, so I'll be happy with scope hold करके रखें पीछे आ रही है.
So I think that this is a good case for demonstrating esophageal stent if
So
it
I'll
turns out
take
to
a
be
couple of
malignant.
them from the distal end and rest of them from the proximal end, because I don't see any like so here the most important thing is to ask somebody to hold. So now you can appreciate like less than like 50%, 75% of the mucosa is involved. It's not the circumferential involvement.
I
and the
think that
distal
there
end.
is some sort of active oozing or
Yeah,
spurting. Image has paused on our side.
There might be some fistulous communication. Loose छोड़े.
उनका ठीक चल रहा है.
Okay, no, ठीक है.
हमारा इमेज रुक गया है.
Okay, आप hold करके रखें.
सिस्टम नजर आ रहे हैं. नहीं, वो दूसरी का फ्रीज हो रहा था, ये दूसरी का दूसरा सिस्टम है, ये सिस्टम डिफरेंट है. देखो ना, फ्रीज है. हाँ, होना आ गया. Now we have the video image. थोड़ी आवाज भी फ्रीज हो गई.
बहुत ज़्यादा fluid है. एक मिनट. इसके बाद ना मुझे ज़रा पानी दे देना, मैं सक्शन कर दूँ ज़रा बेहतर. Open.
नहीं, हमने कोई कटिंग नहीं
Close.
करते पे. कटिंग के बगैर
Close.
चीज हो जाए. कोई कॉटरी नहीं यूज हो रही, कोई कटिंग नहीं करते.
अपने ना स्कोप नहीं ठीक हो रही, इसको मुझे पुश करने दिया करें. तो ओपन.
कॉटरी नहीं, इससे तो इस पेशेंट से कॉटरी आई है.
Close. Open. कोई okay, close. No. दो तीन proximal end से ले लेंगे.
डब्बे खुले भी गए हैं काम कर रहे हैं चिप्पे पे पाना देखो कहने में मशीना काम करने छड़ गई है क्योंकि मशीना तो भी भुख लगी हुई है. So Dr. Junaid, we are coming downstairs to you as well.
Welcome. I think there is some fistulous communication. Some fistula.
हेलो ये बंद
Open. Slow close. एक और ले लें सिस्टम. नहीं 75% है इन्वॉल्वमेंट नॉट सर्कमफ्रेंशियल.
आपके पास यूएसबी है?
ओपन. स्लो क्लोज. मुझे सैंपल दिखा देना. सैंपल दिखा देना. सैंपल दिखा देना.
चेक करवा दो बायोप्सी जार उठा के.
आई थिंक ठीक है. फॉर्मेलिन बहुत ज़्यादा है. छोड़.